Oh man, what? I might need to. There we go.
Recording in progress.
Backups going. Main thing is going. I'm all set. What shirt are you wearing?
Oh, black. I'm Black Manta shirt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I did. You know, could have been Black Knight. Could have been Black Manta. Could have been Black Noir.
Everything's black in this world.
Could have been Black Panther. I mean, Black
Oh, Manta.
Black Manta. Yep. Yeah, man. It was a decent weekend.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot happened. I saw Thor. I'll ask your opinion on that a little bit later. But hey everyone, welcome to the Daily Cup of Genre, or the soft reboot, if you will, of the Daily Cup of Genre, as we try to get our schedule going here on the Genreverse Podcast Network, powered by LRMonline.com, and sponsored by the good folks over at Grow Generation, where the pros do go to grow. And I want my background moving. There we go. Yeah, make sure you're checking out the Genreverse Podcast Network here on YouTube and wherever you get your podcast from, Google, SoundCloud, Spotify, all that good stuff. I'm Kyle Malone, and that's Manny Gomez. Our social media stuff is down below. And man, we got really, really close on the Thor box office take, man. It took in 143 estimated according to the numbers, and you and I said last week 150. So over by Price is Right rules, but not too far off, man. What do you think?
Yeah, we wouldn't have got the prizes. But yeah, we were right. Still didn't. It was funny because now my mark for the year is I was like, did it beat Minions? And just to be annoying, actually, and it didn't.
It didn't.
But yeah,
what did Minions opening weekend? It was like 120 something, I thought.
Domestically
was 107 opening weekend.
Opening. Oh yeah, no, actually, you know what? You're wrong. I'm wrong. It was 125. Yeah. No, yeah.
So, yeah, no. But still.
I think my point was, because I'm barely trying to drink this coffee, so I apologize to everyone. Is another really good weekend at the box office, basically.
Yeah, not too shabby.
It's not as good as some of the previous ones per se, but there's a variety of movies that people are still going to watch.
Apparently, there's 140 screens still playing Doc Strange, which is weird, but you know, because it's on Disney Plus now, isn't it? It has been for a minute.
Has it? I don't even know.
I think it has been. I'm almost positive.
I don't think
it was. I'm almost positive it was. So let's see here. Doctor Strange to Disney Plus. Yeah, I think it's out now. It says. I don't know when it originally hit, but earlier this month. Point being is it did okay. Lightyear fell another spot to number 7, only bringing in 2 million, and lost 1,700 theaters in its fourth week in release, while Top Gun Maverick still sitting there from number 2 last week to number 3 this week, with another 15 million in sales. Only took in out of an additional 330 screens. Probably some of those were IMAXs that it had gotten back into, I heard, when they came out for Thor Love and Thunder. But yeah, 150, man. I was kind of wondering, do you think it's because unlike Multiverse of Madness, which everyone had heard about, a bunch of leaks and rumors of, nostalgic pieces being in it, Professor Xavier and whatnot, Top Gun Maverick, it's a sequel to a 30-year-old movie. You've got No Way Home, that was all the nostalgia driven. Like here was Thor, which is just continuing Thor, and it did okay. What do you think, man? And do you think the nostalgia factor is more important to average audiences, or do you think word of mouth hurt this movie, because it's kind of divided on love it or hate it out there?
I think what happened is the other Marvel movies that have come out this year so far in theaters have had a lot of attachment to it, a lot of continuations of stories, um, bigger than what Thor had. I mean, Doctor Strange had basically, I would say, the finale of Wanda,
Yeah.
in her long tale that we started way back in Age of Ultron, when Marvel movies were a lot more impactful, I would say.
Better.
And then yeah,
in many ways better.
and to be fair, and just to be fair, to clarify, I thought Age of Ultron was not a great movie.
Oh, it's definitely the weakest of everything called everything called Avengers.
So but it also had that kind of factor of, it was a continuation of Marvel's first TV series, which was WandaVision, which most people watched, even you would say casuals. So
yeah.
So I think it really, those kinds of things really bring in a lot more people. Plus, I think that the idea of the multiverse in both those movies, in Spider-Man and in Doctor Strange, was a factor, because you thought you were going to see certain things, and it really didn't. These
616 is essentially the exact same as it was at the end of Loki, at the end of No Way Home, and at the end of Multiverse of Madness.
Yep, and then at the end of well, let's not spoil too much things here.
Yeah.
I mean, but you've seen it. And if you haven't, well, okay, I guess you're not really missing out on much.
No. What did you think of Thor? Again, no spoilers or anything. What did you think of it?
It was fine. Like, it was everything I had expected. So nothing was really nothing was really special about it to me. I
found it unbalanced. Did you feel like
Taika
just went too far one way?
Yeah. So my biggest problem with it, and I was talking about this yesterday, is it has this huge message about kids being heroes, right? But we have this massive point in the middle where you have Zeus and gods talking about orgies.
Yeah.
So I was a bit confused as to,
and Thor's ass.
Yeah, it's like, okay, so are we gearing this? If it felt like we want to be edgy, but we want to be Disney, but we don't know how to balance it out, and they did it in probably the worst possible way. I felt. And then it just kept going. Like it was like a hamster in a wheel, I felt. And with no, like, there was nothing nothing that makes it stand out.
I could see that. Yeah, I could see that.
It's a very cookie cutter film. Like, there's nothing that made you go, or that was unexpected, or really that you say, whoa, in this movie this happened. Like, did Lady Thor happen? Yes. Okay. Like,
Mighty Thor. You're gonna get a hate mail now, Manny.
That's fine. I don't care. I don't read that anyway. Mighty Thor. I should get that right. But it was just your typical Marvel Studios movie, but strange. And not in the Doc Strange way.
Yeah, there was underutilization of Gore. There was one amazing scene with him that we could have used a lot more interactions of, like that. And then there was, the funny bits were funny, but you kept kind of like, Thanos would be incredibly upset, as someone on our Discord said. Link down below. Join us for the fun conversations and memes. But Thanos would have been upset because this was not well balanced, and all things should be balanced. So yeah. What else?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I think you're right. Thanos would look at this current Marvel slate and go, see, this is why I wanted to destroy half of them.
I like that. I had a decent weekend because there were some shows that hit that I'd been really excited about. Anime, of course. You guys here on the podcast channel and network, we have Anime Versal Reviews podcast, and it started because of a show called Dr. Stone, which kind of back in 19 reignited my passion for anime. Just we reawakened the weeb within that had been repressed by my time in the military and crappy anime on Adult Swim. But not all of it was crappy. But I got to revisit the world of Dr. Stone in a special episode before the third season hits next year. Oh my God. But it was amazing, man. It was just this 1 hour kind of like special that covers a chunk of the manga and acts as a really good kind of like prelude or prologue to this arc in season 3. But man, I needed like a win like that. I needed something that was familiar, and I don't mean familiar like in a nostalgic way from my childhood, but something that's new, but you were waiting on the next part of it, and for it to be good, and for it to not be beholden to a whole bunch of other crap like most Marvel and Star Wars projects are. And man, just from the first frame to the final frame, it was just me smiling ear to ear. We reviewed it on the show, so you guys can check that out. But that and The Boys. And there was some other anime, but The Boys. Have you caught up on that? Are you watching that?
Oh, I watched that a while ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got to finish. So, well, without spoiling, any deaths or anything like that, or any big, character moments. Holy crap, man! Was that kid creepy? That's just all I'm gonna say. At the end, creepy kid. Like, bravo on the acting for that kid, because they really the smile, man. Whoo. And it was a trippy season, man. What'd you think of season 3 in general?
Season 3 is my favorite season so far. It's gotten the closest to the comic book adaptation that some of us have read and some of us should never read. Yeah, because no matter how far the show goes, it will never go as far as the book.
Yeah,
and that's okay, and that it's okay. Oh
yeah, and they went pretty far this season. Yeah, I got to give in that man, was it the first or second episode with Termite or whatever his name is? Not gonna spoil what happened, but the set designers and construction team that built that set that the shrinking guy was in. You're some brave people. Like, I was surprised that they went as practical as they did for that, and I think the boys both exceeded my expectations in a lot of things this season. However, there were some CGI blood and guts that weren't necessary. Where you should have used some practical guts, because the CGI was bad.
I've seen it. I've seen some behind the scenes looks at what was some of the blood and guts and why they chose to do some of those things. And a lot of the times it has to do with time. You only have so much time to crank out TV shows. So you need to be as,
Go ahead.
I was watching this explanation on some of the special effects on movies and things like that, where the special effects guest was saying a lot of times, especially in movies and series, you have about 85% of shots that are picture perfect, and you can call them the TV ready, movie big screen ready. Then there's about 15% that, for whatever reason, you ran out of allocated time, money, or they just changed the scenes too many times, and you could only do so much, and it's kind of annoying that when the final product comes out, that's all you focus on, and it's going to be the one or two shots that are sometimes glaringly bad, but you dismiss all the rest of the hard work that went into that, and that went into that.
Yeah, film. No, I wouldn't dismiss everything. Like I said, the set design for that infamous scene with Termite was brave choice, but in my mind, gore is one of the like horror movies. You and I are big horror fans, and horror movies are notoriously inexpensive. Notoriously shoestring budgets and do some amazing things with blood and guts, with food coloring and food products even. And that's my only gripe when it comes to like if it was a big SFX shot, big special effects shot, explosions, superpowers and stuff like that, got it. But when it's just gore, when it's just some legitimately guts, man, guys, pantyhose and some gelatin and blood and dude, you've got yourself some gut. Like they could have done the guts. That's all I'm saying.
It's possible, but all I'm doing is giving the benefit of the doubt, because I know that in the previous season, it was not practical at the time to get the actors that dirty, or the scene wasn't planned out that way, and it was post shooting that they were like, we're actually want to do it this way, and it's like, oh, okay,
yeah.
So,
we'll see. I demand quality gore. If you're gonna show me guts, gosh damn it, I want them to look as good as this ad from our sponsors over at Grow Generation.
Grow Generation, where the pros go to grow. Grow Generation is your one-stop shop for hydroponic grow supplies, product systems, and more. Grow Generation serves customers across the nation and carries a wide inventory of renowned cultivation brands. Go to www.growgeneration.com, where the pros go to grow.
But not necessarily. I don't know if it can land as a.
Don't know if it can hold
it
up.
It might actually.
Thing. All right. Well, hey, Grow Generation, thank you for sponsoring the show as usual. Link in the description box on the webpage at lrmonline.com. And Manny, what is your idea to talk about? Because I can hold on to mine for an extra minute.
My idea? Well, okay. Well, my idea is I'm a big fan of found footage films, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you know this. So like things like
I did not.
Paranormal Activity, things like Rec, I think it's like Record or whatever it's called.
Did you like Cloverfield?
The second one a little bit better than the first one.
Okay.
I think the problem was I watched the first Cloverfield in theaters. That shaky cam on that specific movie gave me the biggest headache ever. And so I like that. I like that kind of media where you have the choice of becoming invested and believing it's real because it's made in a way to make you feel like it's something real happening. There's an art to it, of course, because if you don't do it well, you get taken out of it immediately and then you're done. But if it's done tastefully, then you can really make believe that the events that you're watching on the screen actually happen. And that's just kind of the fun of it. And I'm discovering the same joy and pleasure in it now in book form. How does
that work?
Well, my girlfriend, she gave me this book called Fantastic Land about 300 employees in a Florida amusement park to the level of a Disney or a Universal, that after Hurricane Sadie were trapped and ended up forming tribes and fucking murdering each other.
Wow.
And they were
I was gonna say kind of like that American Dad episode where their Disney World like gets locked down for some reason, and like the kids take over the like Kitty Land, and the princess, all the girls become like a princess tribe, and it
might have been inspired by this book, but
maybe.
All I'm saying is it's done by like interviews and witness accounts and things like that.
Oh, like World War Z was similar to that.
Yes, and I love World War Z. The book was, and the thing of World War Z is that the movie tainted it so much for me, because anytime I think of the book, I think of how like not good the movie was. And but yeah, it's like a World War Z. It's like a guide to zombies. Also Mark Brooks, and then he also has another book called Devolution, which was really good, kind of about an attack of Sasquatches Fantastic book. I love it. But all of them really have that same that pattern of being kind of almost like found footage. That there are notes, there are journal entries, there are interviews, newscast reports, newspaper clippings, and things like that that are put together in a way that tell a story.
That's cool. Yeah.
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 I've always liked I've always enjoyed the kind of, I can't call it psychoanalysis because I don't have the skills for that, but I've always really enjoyed analyzing how much lack of faith people have in other people through horror, as horror always takes legit things that have happened and human reactions and emotions and amps it up to 11, exaggeration and all that good stuff, and not saying like all the supernatural stuff are things that happen, but when someone's held captive, when someone's attacked, those are the things that inspire boogeyman stories, ghost stories, demon stories, and things like that. So that's what I mean by horror takes things that actually happen and does their stick with it. But those types of things, man, they always show that it's individual people and small groups working together versus humanity as in general. Like, no, humans in general and in the eyes of a lot of horror movies are just garbage, and it's these small groups and individuals that can make differences. And it's always so interesting to see, because I really do think horror gives you a better lens at what an artist is thinking and feeling in filmmaking than almost any other genre. And that's not every horror movie, and there's plenty that are just gore porn type fests, and that's fine. I love those too, but the ones that really make you think, stuff from like Peele, things from even Wan, sometimes where he really gets into like the I don't want to use zeitgeist or any crap term like that, but kind of like the pop culture of horror, and really gets to drive into things like that, even not just here in this generation, but bringing in the Warrens or whatever it was in that series. Like that goes back for ages. Like when I was getting into paranormal stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s, you hear about those two. So I love horror, man, and that's all I gotta say on it.
No, you really see a progression really in horror as far as like what is popular and what's going on in the world. In the 80s you had so many like serial killers. So what do you see? You see a lot of slasher films. In the late 70s and the 80s, a lot of killers. Michael Myers, you have Jasons, you have your Chuckies, and you have even the ones that Freddy that ruin your nightmares. I was going right there with it. You were, and then we get a little bit more into paranormal things. We get into kind of like the like follows up to the exorcisms. You have horror films like that, and then in the early 2000s, in the rage of boy bands and things like that, there's more of those the teen slasher movies and stuff like that are a lot of fun. I Know What You Did Last Summer, Screams, and things like that.
Love Scream. And
then post 9/11, you have a lot more darker tone things. You have your Rob Zombie films that are starting to get a little bit more popular. They unfortunately let him play with Michael Myers a bitch. Were terrible.
I liked the first one.
I thought they were just terrible adaptations of the character.
I liked the first one.
And then Hostel's another one of that time and things like
Eli
that.
Roth.
So yeah, just really a story that you can almost tell through horror, that you can see through horror progressing in the different decades of what's really going on in the world. And that's kind of cool.
Does that mean we're gonna start getting a lot more apocalypse and Armageddon stuff going on?
The problem I think we're having now with horror is that it's we're leaning too close to reality, or vice versa. It's like Captain Barbossa said in Pirates of the Caribbean: Curse of the Black Pearl. it's like you're not, you're not, how do you say you're not reading this isn't a ghost story.
Oh,
Like,
you
you're
best,
in one.
you best start believing in ghost stories because you're in
Yeah,
one.
basically
Yeah.
it's the same thing. We're look around. So our sequoia trees they're right now, firefighters in California are desperately trying to protect our sequoia trees, which are thousands of years
Wow.
old, because
Yep.
they're
I've been there.
very close to catching on fire. I'm talking about the old grizzly. I'm talking about just, the very, very old ones.
Hmm.
Right now, they're very much in danger as of this moment of catching on fire.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just,
Things are insane out there, people.
but yeah,
but
that's why we have horror, things like this. And
Mhm.
yeah, I have, I will actually on my pile of books next, I have like The Exorcist, which I really want to read, and a couple of other things. But yeah, like World War Z, I've already read, and other titles that I just, I don't know. There's something about the horror genre, about the people surviving and finding different creative ways of doing it from different beings or situations.
Man, I'm telling you right now, I hate to bring it back to the Wii, but Dr. Stone, man, that show is something people need, because you've got a guy that is trying to basically help bring humanity back from the Stone Age.
Oh.
An event happens and every bit of technology is gone. Like it's a great reset, like a true reset, where there's been severe knowledge loss, and you've got one person that's got some knowledge and has been trying to pass it on to others and reboot society. But the whole show uses real science. Like they go through and explain the chemicals that they're getting from burning this or crushing that and mixing it with this other thing, and how those chemicals will lead to additional things. Like it shows this beautiful roadmap of progression. And the special episode covered some unique things with hemp, which is great. But yeah, man, watch some survival stuff. And I don't mean Bear Grylls like sensational. Like watch like Les Stroud. If you want to watch any Survivor stuff, watch Survivor Man and learn from Les Stroud over Bear Grylls. So, and then watch Dr. Stone.
You know what's funny? You mentioned like Bear Grylls, is that we love to watch like Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters, shows like that. And in the back of my mind, I know that every episode is exactly the same. Yet here I am, 25 seasons later, still reacting to the same stupid noise that Zach and the rest of the crew are. It's just we're such a suckers for it, man.
Yeah, I cannot confirm or deny that I have ever traveled through abandoned places with or without permission, because that shit is fun, dude. Like even if you don't believe in supernatural stuff, it's still fun to go explore historical places, especially creepy ones, and even more so in the dark. I like haunted houses, like the attractions, not necessarily real ones, but I love haunted house attractions. They're a lot of fun. I love being scared because it's an adrenaline rush. Like roller coasters are about being scared. Like no matter how much fun you're having, part of that is fear. You're strapped to a screaming metal death trap. It's amazing. I love it, and it's always fun to get scared, as long as it doesn't scar you like Fire in the Sky. Fuck you, movie. They should not use that phrase based on a true story lightly, because some poor 9-year-old's gonna find your movie and be traumatized forever. That was actually a better conversation than what I was gonna bring up. I was gonna talk about the E3 and Comic-Con announcements. Comic-Con's schedule is up, but we might actually hold on to the Comic-Con new schedule a bit and talk about that once the event is coming up, so we can kind of do like a prep show for you guys. But I guess in closing, it is kind of weird that E3 is gonna come back in 2023 with ReedPop this time, and ReedPop runs New York City Comic-Con, which LRM and the Genreverse will have representation there, including myself and Christine. I'm really curious as to what gaming's going to be like, because between excuse me, between budget issues and deadlines being pushed and pushed, releases being pushed. There's the phrase I was looking for, and some of these future programs finally we're going to end up with some of the first games that their budgets were kind of dependent on money made recently, and that money's like, Game Pass. So now you're getting closer to where games are going to have to start sharing the pool of money and things that I've expressed concerns about. So I'm really curious as to what E3 will end up being like. It was kind of weird reading through your piece though, because you talked about how they're definitely having like all of the industry and content creators and stuff like that. They are going to have like regular Joes there this time, or are they going back to that thing they used to do where it's just industry and press?
No, it's everyone.
Okay. Good. I don't know, man. What do you think about gaming and 2023? It'll be interesting once we get there, because we have to see what they bring. We have to see what they decide to do, because it's definitely not going to be like the shows before. But now with ReedPop taking control, I wonder if they're going to kind of integrate a lot more things than just video games per se. I wonder if they're going to add a little bit more like a technology show in general. So, but it's one of those things we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. We will. And in the meantime, you guys can keep checking out LRM on LRMonline.com every day for all your entertainment news, needs, and opinions. Written reviews, celebrity interviews that you can also find at the LRM YouTube channel. Subscribe there as well. Convention news, leaks, rumors, all sorts of things that you can find there at the website. All of the podcasts that include Anime Versal Reviews, Breaking Geek Radio. It's a weekly long form. They touch on news, rumors, and have a movie or show review. Marvel Multiverse Mayhem and The Cantina respectively do reviews and movie or reviews and news for their respective franchises. And of course on the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. I also do the Genre Shot trailer reactions, and maybe some people will be able to chip in and get you guys some other points of view on the some of these trailers hidden as well. And of course, all of those are wherever you get your podcast from. I already said that part, so yeah, guys. Brain injuries are fun, and I'm actually starting to get really nauseous. So that'll do it. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.